Hello, dog lovers. Have you ever noticed how your four-legged friend looks away when you try to look directly into their eyes? Or perhaps you've heard that a direct stare can provoke aggression in an unfamiliar dog. Today, we'll dive into the amazing world of canine psychology and find out why direct eye contact can be a real problem for our furry companions. This isn't just a curious fact. Understanding dog body language can help you build a deeper connection with your pet and avoid unpleasant situations when meeting other dogs. So get comfortable, and let's figure out this interesting question. Let's start with the origins. Dogs are descendants of wolves, and many of their behavioral responses are deeply rooted in the wild. In a wolf pack, direct eye contact is not a friendly gesture, but a real challenge. Imagine two wolves standing opposite each other and staring into each other's eyes. They aren't exchanging pleasantries, but deciding who's in charge. Direct gaze for them is a demonstration of strength, confidence, and even threat. Our domestic dogs inherited this trait from their wild ancestors. Although thousands of years of domestication have softened many instincts, the basic perception of direct gaze as a potential threat has remained in canine nature. When we humans look directly into a dog's eyes, we inadvertently speak the language of dominance, which can cause stress or discomfort for them. Interestingly, scientists from the University of Helsinki conducted a study examining dogs' reactions to human faces with different expressions. They discovered that dogs try to avoid eye contact with angry faces and show signs of stress when someone stares at them for a long time. This confirms that dogs are indeed sensitive to direct gaze and perceive it as a potential threat. Have you ever wondered how dogs perceive our gaze at a neurobiological level? Research shows that when a dog sees a direct stare, the same areas in its brain activate as when perceiving danger. The amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for emotional reactions, especially fear, begins to work more actively. This is an automatic reaction that a dog cannot consciously control, just as we cannot control increased heartbeat when frightened. Have you ever noticed how different dog breeds react differently to direct eye contact? This is no coincidence. Breeds developed for independent work, such as hunting or herding dogs, are often more sensitive to direct gaze. Meanwhile, dogs that have lived side by side with humans as companions for centuries may be more tolerant of eye contact. But even the friendliest dog can feel uncomfortable if someone stares at them too long and intently. For example, border collies, bred to control sheep, often use staring as a tool to control the herd. For them, direct gaze is a working tool, yet they themselves can be very sensitive when someone looks at them that way. On the other hand, pugs or Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, bred as companion dogs, usually feel more comfortable with direct eye contact with humans. Let's talk about what happens in a dog's brain when someone stares at them. Research shows that direct gaze activates areas in the canine brain associated with processing threat and stress. The level of the stress hormone, cortisol, can increase, and heartbeat can accelerate. The dog enters a fight-or-flight state, and its reaction will depend on temperament, experience, and the context of the situation. Some dogs will respond to direct gaze by averting their eyes. This is a calming signal, a way to say, "I pose no threat, I don't want conflict." Others might freeze or turn away, and some, especially if they feel cornered or have negative experiences, might show aggression, growl, bark, or even try to bite. This is especially important to remember when meeting an unfamiliar dog. Many children instinctively try to look into a dog's eyes, which the animal might perceive as a threat. That's why it's so important to teach children proper handling of dogs and respect for their personal space. There's a whole set of calming signals that dogs use to reduce tension in social situations. Averting gaze is just one of them. Others include yawning, licking lips, turning the head away, slowing movements, and even sneezing. If you notice your dog displaying these signals when you look into their eyes, it means they're experiencing discomfort and trying to reduce tension. Did you know that dogs have developed a special way of safe eye contact with humans? It's called a soft gaze. When a dog looks at you, but not intently, often blinking and periodically looking away, this way they show that they trust you and don't perceive you as a threat. If your dog looks at you with such a gaze, you can be sure they feel comfortable in your presence. Interesting fact. When a dog and human look into each other's eyes with love and tenderness, both experience increased levels of oxytocin, the hormone of attachment and trust. The same hormone is released in a mother when she looks at her child. This suggests that between human and dog, there can exist a deep emotional connection comparable to parental love. Researchers from Japan conducted an experiment measuring oxytocin levels in dogs and their owners before and after 30 minutes of interaction. They found that pairs who spent more time gazing into each other's eyes demonstrated a more significant increase in oxytocin levels. This indicates that a gentle, loving gaze is not at all the same as staring and is perceived completely differently by dogs. But how then should we properly communicate with a dog if direct gaze can cause stress? Experts recommend using a side glance, looking not directly into the eyes, but slightly to the side. This is perceived by dogs as more friendly and less threatening. It's also helpful to periodically blink and look away. This shows that you're not challenging or trying to dominate. When you meet an unfamiliar dog, it's better to avoid direct eye contact altogether. Instead, you can look at the dog's shoulder or somewhere nearby. Let the dog approach and sniff you. Don't lean over them or reach toward their head. This might be perceived as a threat. Better to squat down sideways to the dog and give them the opportunity to get to know you at their own pace. Remember the story of Cesar Millan, the famous dog whisperer? He often demonstrates how important it is to avoid direct gaze during the first meeting with an aggressive or frightened dog. Instead, he recommends standing sideways to the animal, not looking directly into their eyes, and allowing the dog to initiate contact. This technique has helped him gain the trust of many problematic dogs. Many professional trainers and behaviorists use similar methods. They know that building trust with a dog begins with respecting their personal space and understanding their body language. When a dog sees that you respect their boundaries and aren't trying to dominate through a direct stare, they're more likely to trust you and follow your directions. By the way, about cultural differences. While in Western culture, direct gaze is often associated with honesty and openness, in many Asian cultures, prolonged eye contact is considered impolite or even aggressive. Interestingly, dogs living in different cultural environments may adapt differently to human eye contact habits. Dogs in Japan, for example, might be less accustomed to direct gaze than their counterparts in Europe or America. This reminds us of how adaptive and sensitive to social norms dogs are. They observe us, learn from us, and adapt to our expectations. But at the same time, they remain dogs, with their own instincts and ways of communication that we must respect and understand. What about other animals? Interestingly, not only dogs perceive direct gaze as a threat. Many primates, cats, and even birds react to a direct stare as a potential danger. This suggests that such a reaction is deeply rooted in evolution and serves an important protective function in the animal world. In primates, our closest relatives, direct gaze can also be perceived as a challenge or threat. Researchers working with chimpanzees and gorillas know that a direct stare can provoke an aggressive reaction. On the other hand, in some primate species, mutual eye contact plays an important role in social bonding and relationship formation, very similar to what we observe in dogs and humans. How can we, as loving owners, establish healthy eye contact with our four-legged friends? First, respect your dog's personal space. Don't impose eye contact, especially if you see signs of discomfort. Second, learn to recognize your dog's soft gaze and respond in kind. And third, remember that connection with a dog is built not only through gaze, but also through touch, play, walks together, and training. Creating comfortable eye contact with your dog is a process that requires time and patience. Start with short moments of soft gaze, accompanied by positive reinforcement, treats, praise, or caresses. Gradually, your dog will begin to associate eye contact with you with something pleasant, not threatening. If you want to strengthen the bond with your dog through eye contact, try the Look at Me game. Start with brief moments of eye contact, rewarding your dog with treats. Gradually increase the duration, but always monitor your pet's comfort. This game will not only strengthen your bond, but also help your dog learn to focus attention on you in different situations. This game is especially useful for training attention and obedience. When your dog learns to happily look into your eyes on command, you can use this skill in various situations, from basic obedience to complex tricks. Additionally, a dog that knows how to focus on its owner is less susceptible to distractions during walks and training. It's important to remember that every dog is unique. What works for one might not suit another. Some dogs naturally feel more comfortable with eye contact, while others need more time to get used to it. Respect your pet's individual characteristics and don't force the process. You need to be especially careful with dogs that have experienced trauma or have behavioral problems. For such animals, direct gaze can be particularly stressful. If your dog has issues with aggression or fear, it's better to consult with a professional dog trainer or behaviorist before working on eye contact. In conclusion, dogs' dislike of direct eye contact is not a whim, but a deeply rooted evolutionary reaction. Understanding this aspect of canine psychology will help you become a better friend to your pet and avoid misunderstandings when communicating with other dogs. By recognizing that direct gaze can be a signal of threat for dogs, we can adapt our behavior to make our four-legged friends more comfortable and happy. This is one of many subtleties of interspecies communication that makes the relationship between humans and dogs so special and profound. I hope this information was useful and interesting for you. And now I want to ask you, have you noticed that your dog avoids direct gaze? How do you establish eye contact with your pet? Share your experience in the comments. It will be interesting to learn about your observations. Perhaps you have your own methods that helped you establish comfortable eye contact with your dog. Or maybe you've noticed interesting features in the behavior of dogs of different breeds. Your experience can be very valuable for other dog owners who face similar questions. If the video was helpful, don't forget to like it. This will help other dog lovers find this information. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss new episodes about the nuances of canine psychology and behavior. And if you have dog-owning friends who might find this information useful, be sure to share this video with them. Your support inspires the creation of new, interesting, and useful materials about our four-legged friends. Every like, comment, and subscription helps develop the channel and share knowledge with even more dog lovers. Next time, we'll reveal another interesting topic related to the body language of our four-legged friends. Believe me, you'll learn many new and amazing things about your pet. And remember, a dog's eyes can tell a whole story. You just need to learn how to read it. Observe, learn, and enjoy the amazing world of canine communication.